If not you, then who? If not here, then where? If not now, then when? If you are a student undergoing a bachelor's or a master's degree at university level, and you are passionately striving to get that high GPA or even being the gold medalist at university level, and you're trying to figure out what it takes to be that high performer, then you are in the right video. Today I will take you through 12 success principles which can definitely make you that high performer. Because I am myself a gold medalist at university level, and I have seen the journey of failures, setbacks, obstacles, and finally the successful pedestal. So do keep watching my video till the end. It will be definitely a game changer for most of you. Hey there, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new to my channel, a big hello. My name is Razia Khatun. Well, today's video comes from the request from many of my juniors who have been always asking me almost every year, what is the success principle of reaching to that gold medalist level? And as most of the toppers would say, I tell them that you have to study hard, you have to study smart. But times have changed, right? And that is why we need to have that particular skill set which makes you a topper at the university level. For students, the distractions are many. But let me tell you, with a focused mindset, you will definitely reach to the top. And believe me, with that high GPA score, you definitely stand an edge over other students when it comes to campus placements, campus interviews, and getting your first job opportunities. These high GPAs are really like a gateway to your professional career journey. It really helped me a lot. So what it takes to be a high performer, let me guide you through. So as a mindset, career, and performance coach, I have always believed that it's 80% mindset and 20% skill set which takes you to the top, which is basically the reason of your success. So number one, a strong belief system. When I entered the university doing my master's degree, I had to move from my city, my home city, to another city. That was quite an overwhelming experience. It was the first time I was staying away from my parents, my siblings, and that was a daunting experience. Actually, I would not be able to focus on my studies initially. And then I realized one day that this will not continue for long because I have come to the university with a goal. I have to complete my master's degree, and not only complete it with an achiever's attitude. Gradually speaking to the professors and the mentors and observing the habits of my seniors who were really high performers, I actually started to introspect. I started to see their behavior, and I started to analyze and feel that it's all about the belief system which will really take you over and above others. Henry Ford has said it rightly: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. So why don't we always go ahead with that attitude, I can? What I did was something different from the average performers. I used to visit the campus library, and I used to see the trophies of all the meritorious students there. And I used to live that thought that I can be also that top performer, I can be that gold medalist, And I started to visualize that I am the recipient of that gold medal. I am standing on that platform where I am being awarded and facilitated at the convocation ceremony. And then I realized there was so much of difference. The more I visualized, the more I believed in my success, my actions were streamlined towards the outcome, towards my goal. And that was an incredible journey, believe me. So have a strong belief system, visualize your success, and aim towards your goal. Success principle. Be laser focused. And I'm sure most of you have experienced this thing that when you enter the university, you're away from your parents most of the times. So you don't have that supervision which is needed to actually keep you engaged in your studies all the time. And then you can bunk classes, you can have casual times, and you become very relaxed. And that is what I saw most of the students doing. But I had a belief system that kept me going very strongly. And initially, believe me, it was not easy. I faced procrastination. I faced self-doubt. I faced sabotaging beliefs, which really did not kick me or which did not really help me to move forward. But then, as I told you, it is more of self-management when it comes to your university studies. So I started to set my priorities right. I started to manage myself more systematically. Whenever it came to studies, I knew that was my first and foremost priority, and nothing would come in the way when it came to studies. So I would find a calm and quiet place to study. I would dedicate the number of hours which I had to study for the whole week. I would never compromise in the number of study hours. When it came to phone notifications or desktop notifications, I would just keep them on a silent mode so that when I'm in a self-study mode, I'm simply studying. One thing I really did, and it really helped me, was to always keep my table clutter-free. So I just focused on the subject book which I had to study at that particular point of time, and I would just keep all the other books under my shelf. I would not just see them or look at them. The subject which I had to study, I always prioritized that subject. I completed the notes of that subject, and then I would move on to the other one. So I was really focusing, I was being laser focused in my study pattern. And as my mentor Tony Robbins says, where focus goes, energy flows. And that is what I was doing. I was trying to channelize my full energy into my studies at that point of time without any distractions, and that is really very important. It really helped me keep going towards my success. The third success principle, be organized. When it came to university studies, I was meticulous and very organized, and that really helped me in getting that gold medal. I would first of all have my academic planner, which had all the deadlines for the exams, for the vivas, for presentations, for dissertations, and any impromptu activity that was desired from us. I was very keen in taking notes in the class, and that really helped me during my exams preparation, wherein I didn't need to cram up or I didn't need to just hustle for searching for the notes. And then I would practice the active recall system, wherein I would give certain case studies to myself and then ask myself what could be the possible solutions, and then I would write them down. So instead of just a passive learning approach, I would actually working on the active recall system. I used to always maintain a good pen, and that was one standard pen. I believe it was Mitsubishi, and it really helped me in my presentation skills in my answer sheets. So that pen really helped me to score, I believe it was a lucky charm, and it really helped me to score high marks, because when you have that habit of writing with one single pen in the exams, you write fast, and that your presentation or the way you are writing the answers, the flow comes out very clearly, and it's liked by the invigilator or it's liked by the examiner a lot. I would maintain a retrospective revision timetable, and believe me, that is one of the best approaches in active recall. So what happens is that you set up different points in a particular topic, and then you see what date you are revising it and how strongly you are revising it. So every time you revise, you write down the date towards it, and then when you revise it for the second time, you write the dates, and then you see how well versed you are with that particular concept. So this retrospective revision timetable really helped me to have a strong hold on each and every topic. Reverse planning approach, and that I believe is really very helpful, because I always used to set up the month in which my exams would be held, and then I would plan my schedule from that month backward. So I knew how much time, how many months, or how many weeks I had for preparation, and how many weeks I should basically allocate to which particular subject. So it really helped me to set deadlines of the revision, and this reverse planning approach is really very effective in proper time management. So how did this organized approach help me? The first and foremost thing it helped me is that I was not rushing for things when the exams would come. I was not keeping things to the last minute. Everything was well spaced and patterned, and I was not having that anxiety level which I saw the other students having it. I was calm, I was confident. I knew that I was not cramming my brain with a lot of information, because I was studying every day consistently. So I was very calm and consistent, and I was really prepared for the examinations, it seems. So it's really a very good self-management tool that you're organized right from the beginning, instead of shifting and pulling things towards the last minute, which really does not help in the good delivery in the examination. Understand the power of an hour. This is a very important concept when it comes to studies. So what I used to do, I used to understand my peak productivity hours. All right, so those hours were really meant for only studies, wherein I would not waste a single moment. So I was actually conditioning myself to high performance actually, and then I would just put in a lot of efforts, a lot of smart work and hard work into my studies, into those peak productivity hours. And I would always find out what all I did within an hour. I would write one journal, and then in that one journal I would just put what concepts I covered in 1 hour, the second hour, the third hour, and fourth hour. So for example, I am studying continuously for 10 hours. So I knew what subjects or what topics I had constructively covered during those 10 hours. Definitely, I applied that Pomodoro technique, in which I would really set my alarm for 25 minutes study and then 5 minutes break. And then I would repeat the cycle 4 times, and then again I would take a longer break of 25 minutes to 30 minutes just to relax, stretch myself, move around my study room. And believe me, this understanding and this realization and conditioning myself on this power of an hour really helped me to train myself subconsciously and condition myself to that peak performance. So this kind of approach of understanding the power of an hour is really very important when it comes to cognitive control over your mind, because mind is like a monkey, I may call it, because it keeps on hopping here and there. So it's our intention setting approach and our cognitive control which helps to bring back the mind from wherever it is to the particular task which we are into it. Alright, so this power of an hour and the peak productivity technique really helped me to get the maximum out of the number of hours I was investing into the studies. Alright, and whenever I thought that I did not make the best use of that hour, then I would think about somebody who really was very positive, and that was my mother. She was always my inspiration, and I would just think about her, that what she dreamt about me and how she saw me succeeding in my life, and that positivity from her really helped me to focus more and more on my studies. And definitely this understanding of power of an hour really helps. Do practice it. The fifth success principle: having a productive daily routine. With this I mean that I followed consistently a very productive morning and evening routine. So in the morning I would try to wake up early, and that was completely non-negotiable. I would wake up early at 5 o'clock, and then I would go ahead with the daily chores, meditation, a little bit of walk, and then read some inspirational, motivational books, go through my to-do list. And this was a consistent practice before I went for my university studies, right from 8 till 5 o'clock. And then in the evening, I followed a similar routine, and then I would sleep early so that I wake up early. So I followed a consistent routine because it was like sharpening my saw. I was working on my mind day in and day out. I was conditioning myself every day. and that really helped me in developing good habits. And studying, I believe, is just not something which happens on its own. Studying is a habit, and when we consistently work towards a daily routine, studying becomes so easy, and it really gives you results. And that's what I saw when I was following this consistent daily productive routines. It really helped me in sharpening this up. So what I would do, I would write every day, I would study every day, and I would invest time in writing things. It really helped me because it helped me prepare for the examinations and not leave things in the last minute. So having this routine on a daily basis, a self-talk really helped me as a daily routine, wherein I would like to encourage myself standing in front of the mirror that I am strong, I am powerful, I am the gold medalist. So everything in like a present tense, as if I am achieving the gold medal, I am being the university topper. So all this self-talk really helped me as daily practice to reach to that level of being a gold medalist. And as it is said, practice makes a man perfect. So I was consciously training myself each and every day towards success, and it really helped me. It was it is just like developing a herd mentality, and then your instincts and your subconscious mind gets trained towards it, and this good habit really helps to achieve that success. So basically, I was working on a productive routine every day. Success principle was understand your learning style. There are basically four models of learning: visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and reading and writing. So this VAKR model really helped me to understand my learning style, and that is how I progressed with whatever information I had. So I was predominantly a visual learner because I was basically focused on diagrams, concept maps, spider diagrams, flow charts. So this is how I learned faster, and I realized it quite early in the university, and that is how I focused most of my study patterns accordingly. Some people are auditory learners. For example, they will listen to somebody, they will listen to the lectures and CDs, and they will grasp it faster. Some people are kinesthetic learners. They will just do things and then they will learn. And some people learn through reading and writing. Like, for example, they will convert every information they get into a written text or in a written material. So understanding a learning style properly, which is appropriate for your personality, really helps. And it really helped me when I understood my learning style as predominantly visual. It was definitely a mix. I would love to hear people, I would love to write, I would love to learn things through visual approach, but predominantly I was a visual learner and started to focus on my learning style, and it really helped me to study and grasp things in a shorter span of time rather than struggling to grasp things over a longer period of time. So the seventh success principle is effective memorization. Researchers prove that we tend to forget 56% of the things within an hour, 66% of the things within a day, and 75% of the things within a period of 6 days. So what happens if we do not engage ourselves in an active recall system? Then everything goes for a toss and nothing is stored in the long-term memory. So when I used to get books, what I used to do, I used to go through approach. That is, first of all, I will just go through the preface and what the author wants to inform us through his book. So it really helped me to understand the gist and the theme of the book. The second thing which I did was, at the end of every chapter, I would first go through the questions. Going through the questions and then coming to the content of the chapter really helped me to grasp and focus more on the key topics. And then I would highlight the important points with a highlighter. I would use a pencil. I would never use a pen. And then after that, I would recite and I would learn whatever is needed. And then after a period of time, I would go for an active recall system. So recalling is very important, where I will ask questions to myself and then I will write it down in my own words. So it really helped me in building long-term memory, because we have to understand that exam, we have just 3 hours to write so many things. We don't have a second to waste. So whenever we are in this active recall study pattern, we really take less time in getting things into our brain and then delivering them and writing them down in the answer sheets. So it really helped. Effective memorization techniques, it involves breaking down a big piece of learning material into small chunks. Alright, then you can make your own flashcards, then you can make your own spider diagrams, the process flows, and the concept maps the mind maps, it really helps you to comprehend all the information which is a little difficult to understand into your own way, into your simple way, and it will help you in building a long-term memory. So the use of bullet points is really very important, wherein you are breaking up big sentences or big paragraphs into smaller sentences, simpler ones as per your own style, and it's basically very easy to learn them and then reflect them on your answer sheets. Practicing the previous year question papers really helps. So I really used to practice the last year question papers, and then I would write the answers and then try to analyze it, that if they are appropriate as per the rubrics which it demands. So this was quite a smart approach in learning and basically reflecting it on the answer sheets, because I was more confident when it came to the delivery of the answers. The eighth success principle is surround yourself with high achievers. I'm sure all of you must have heard of this quote that you're the average of 5 people you stay with. So what happened when I was in university and I was trying to hang around with people who were high achievers, who had a goal-oriented, a growth mindset, then I realized that their behavioral traits are quite different. They have a routine, they invested time in their studies, their priorities were different, and that is what made a phenomenal change in my lifestyle as well. I was really getting impacted with them very positively, and that is, I believe, one of the key reasons why and how I succeeded. And for people who I believe they are not getting the opportunities to hang around with people who are achievers, nowadays there are endless opportunities available. You can have a lot of YouTube videos, you have documentaries of successful people, their success stories are there, there are ebooks, there are so many things on the Google that if you want to surround yourself with positivity, if you want to surround yourself with achievement oriented people, you can go through them. So this is one of the key criteria of success. When you surround yourself with high achievers, you tend to become like them. So the ninth success principle is gratitude. Initially, when I got admission in the university for my master's degree, I was really not very happy and satisfied because I had aimed for a better university. But then gradually with time, I realized that it was a great opportunity for me to get admission into that prestigious university, because I saw so many students struggling to get admission into the central university. And then I realized that I need to be grateful and thankful for the opportunity which I had received. With this approach, I started to write a journal every day, wherein I would write at least 3 things I was grateful for every day. I was thankful and grateful for the health, for the positive people around me, for my lovely parents, for my lovely siblings, and for the opportunities which I was getting into education. I was rewiring my mind into that grateful approach. It was an amazing feeling that I was breathing every day, I was alive, and what else you can be more grateful for? So it proved to be like a phenomenal antidote to my success story. And I believe it is one of the most important success principles for each one of us, to be grateful and to have that immense gratitude for all we have. Generally, we are so thankless and we forget to express gratitude. But the moment we realize that we are blessed with so many things in our lives, our life becomes quite complacent and satisfactory. So the 10th success principle is adopt a growth mindset. So when I was in the university, other than my study books or the academic study books, I would always read an inspirational book, and I used to feed my mind with good thoughts. It really is like a snowball effect, wherein you are empowering your mind with positive thoughts, with success stories, with bibliographies of successful people. So it was really very profound and very inspiring to go through these success stories every day. So the more knowledge I had, I became a better decision maker, I became a better critical thinker, I became more innovative, and I was having a growth mindset because my critical thinking, my problem solving abilities were getting improved day by day. So it was just a few minutes I invested into reading books, reading these success stories, and it was having a huge effect on my mind. So I was always in that state of success, of inspiration from these kind of success stories floating around me in my mind. So with this, I believe that my critical thinking skills improved, my critical knowledge base improved, and I became more innovative, having a growth mindset day in and day out. So these were like small incremental efforts turning into a snowball effect. The 11th success principle is to establish a connection and a good working relationship with the professors and teachers in the university. And I believe it really helped me in my success story. I had made meaningful connections which are still lasting till today, and I'm so proud of them. So, what happens? Teachers not only guide you, they, out of their experience and expertise, they really give you a good platform and good education from their practical experiences. They prove to be a good source of references and recommendations to you in your internship journey, in your professional career journey. So I still remember the time when my economics professor said that he wanted to maintain a record of my answer sheets to show it as a sample to my juniors as to how they should answer the questions. So it was really a proud moment for me. So basically understanding the rubrics, how is the grading structure, and then accordingly submitting your high quality work to the teachers for their professional advice, for their professional guidance really helps. So approach your teachers, try to stand out. Don't be an average performer, because the more you contact your professors, your teachers, the more they are open to share their information, share their experience. When I was about to appear for my first interview, I was quite nervous, and I really had a good session with my management professor. And from his own experience, from his own corporate experience, he gave me key insights which really helped me in getting that first job in my career. So don't even hesitate. Always maintain a good working relationship with your professors and teachers, and it really will help you. So what happens is that when you take those extra steps of interacting with your teachers, developing a rapport with them, and religiously submitting a high quality work for their guidance, for their support, it really means a lot. Teachers are always looking for students, and they are really open to those meritorious students, or those students who show their extra initiative in approaching the teachers and the professors. That's what I realized, and it really helped me in my success journey. The 12th success principle, last but definitely not the least, is enjoy your journey. When I was in my university, definitely studies were my priority, but then I was also focusing on maintaining long-term relationships with my friends, with my classmates, with my hostel mates, with my roommates, and definitely those relationships still count in my life. They're so valuable and they're so meaningful. So besides studies, in university you reward yourself with even the smallest milestone. You spend the most valuable and precious times with your friends. Therefore, enjoying the journey is really very important for you to have that successful growth mindset in your life. And I made the most beautiful memories out of it, which when we get together in weddings, in gatherings, and we discuss about those stories in the hostels or in the campus, we really burst into laughters, and those are most of the fond memories which we have. So this is really something so satisfying, and something which you will always love to go back to. So enjoy your journey in the university days, in the college days. So my dear friends, these were my 12 success principles which really helped me achieve a gold medal at university level, and I'm sure these are going to help you as well. In the comment box below, let me know what are your success principles. Nothing is impossible. Have faith and believe in yourself, and I want to see you bagging that gold medal. It's all about your mindset. You can do it. Keep studying and succeeding. Till then, take care and bye-bye.